Okay.
So we are Buddies Healing Paws. I'm Rebecca. I am the founder and director.
And I am Jen. I am the director of fund development.
And we just kind of wanted to put a little video to explain why we started this, what's so important about it, and, you know, kind of try to shed more light on what's really going on with pet insurance, and what happens when you actually do have pet insurance. And, you know, because there's a lot of fine print that people don't read and they don't know about.
Right.
You know, and we want to be able to help people who have.
Yeah, there's a definite gap in the system. You know, what I'm finding is only 1% of pet owners actually have pet insurance in the United States. A lot of them can't afford it. And the most costly procedures are the surgical life-saving medical procedures and medicines that pet owners can't afford. And then when you get into all of that and the red tape, you know, the pet health industry is a $1 billion industry, $1 billion with a B. Okay, these people are in it for money. They're making money. It's big business, which is great. I mean, we have some people who are very supportive. You can't like shuffle all of them into one group, but the majority, there are not enough options for people to pay for these procedures for their pets. And I have talked to several people who have said that they are fighting their pet insurance companies to cover what they said that they're supposed to cover, which they're not following through with covering. I had one friend tell me that her son's dog went in for surgery and he was on the phone for months trying to fight the pet insurance company to cover the cost of what they said they would.
Yeah, and so when you submit those initial claims and the insurance company says, yes, it's covered, then you still, after you get the bill and you've paid that bill, no matter what the cost is,
right,
the insurance company will still go back and look over your claim and decide yes or no. So
right,
even if initially they're like, yes, this is covered, that's not necessarily true. And I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Right. And then they can come back after you for that money.
Yep. And,
yeah.
You know, you also never know what, because when you look, so I have ASPCA insurance. And I thought, well, it's ASPCA, like they care so much about dogs and animals, and
right,
this is great. And you know, I have catastrophic insurance for my dog. And under the you know, things that it says it covers, it said it covered medical procedures and surgeries, major surgeries.
Right.
But then when you go and you have those surgeries, you then submit your claim, and then they say, well, if this is a pre-existing condition, it's not covered. But
right,
that's not listed. So how are people supposed to know what's covered and what's not?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not right.
And, you know, my friend, she had her little dog got out of their yard and he got hit by a car.
Oh my God.
And it was really early in the morning and they rushed him. The emergency vet wasn't open. They rushed him to a local vet that was open. And of course, the first question is, well, how are you going to pay for this?
Yeah. Not what happened. We want our money.
Right. And so she was kind of taken aback at the fact that, you know, there was less concern for what happened and more concern of how are you going to pay for this?
Yep.
Right up front before she even like got in, you know, dropped him off, and before they would even like see them, it was, how are you going to pay for this? Like right there. And so, you know, I think even vets offices are missing the bar here when it comes to offering payment plans for people in-house, figuring out sliding scales for families based on income. I mean, there's all kinds of different options and they're just not doing it.
No, because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, yes, some vets, my vet is wonderful, you know,
right.
And I would recommend him to anybody, but at the end of the day, oh, I'm sorry. Of course, there's the dog. You know, they have to make their money, you know.
Right.
Let him out. Hold on.
Okay.
That's what happens when you have pets.
Right.
You know, and it's sad that this is the case, you know, and a lot of times then the owner's left with making that decision of, am I going to get my pet the surgery and procedure they need, or am I going to have to put them down?
Put them down. Yeah.
You know?
And, you know, and putting them down is cheaper than getting them the surgery they need when they don't necessarily need to be put down because they're healthy otherwise.
Yep. And it's sad.
You know, I mean, yeah. I mean, look at Whiskey, for example. Like, she needed that surgery in order for her quality of life to be better.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing else wrong with her. She's perfectly healthy otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So what if something had happened to where that nobody had come together to help fund that for her?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a huge issue. There's a huge gap here. And so I think what we're trying to do is kind of build a bridge to cover that gap for people.
Yeah. And, try to, lend that hand where we can, because we've gone through that. I mean, you're going through that now with your dog,
Right.
where you
Right.
need help, because
Right.
it's just so much money. It's, we need your money or we can't save your dog.
Yeah, it's $3,000.
That should never be the
they
case.
They want $3,000 for tumor removal.
And
it's just,
it's
insane. And it's like, right.
because it's pre-existing, or if it's common in the breed,
which it is. Yeah.
But that's who cares? Then insurance should cover it.
Right.
I mean,
right.
It's sad that these companies, they take your money every month, and what are you really getting from it? So
nothing.
For all the procedures I've done with my pets, not covered. Not a dime come back. So what am I spending money every month for? If it's still
for them not to cover anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, we're so passionate about what we're doing here with this, and trying so hard to put these fundraisers together and raise these funds to help people, because no one should have to make that choice.
No, especially because I think that you and I both believe that our pets are a part of our family.
Mm-hmm.
My pets have always been like my kids, and it's would I put my kid down?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
And if I was faced with that decision for my child, what would you do?
Yeah, exactly.
And
there are people, we're not in that realm of what we're doing, but there are people who are going through that as well.
Right.
So there is something wrong with this system.
For sure.
While we can't fix everything, we do want to figure out a way to fix this, or at least help.
Right. Or build a community of people that are joining together to help fill this gap that's needed for people when they need it.
Yeah.
And even if we are, just paying for part of it or paying for all of it through our funding or whatever we're capable of doing to help on a case-by-case basis.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what we're trying to do to build here.
Yeah. And, it's not, and I think something I want people to know is no matter what it is, we want to try to help. So we have right now a campaign for a family who rescues senior dogs. And they had 4 senior dogs, and one of them they ended up having to put down.
Right.
And, the money that came out for trying to save this dog's life was insane.
Yes.
They asked for help, and we're not going to turn them away just because
they
passed on. They still need help.
Right. Absolutely. And my friend had a dog who ate a sandal, and part of that sandal went in the digestive tract and tore open the dog's intestines. $10,000. It cost $10,000 to save this dog's life. People are going into insurmountable amounts of debt. Mm-hmm. They're seeking options like GoFundMe. And so I really feel like, with the more grant writing we do to get funding, the more we have our fundraisers to develop our funding to help people. This is all going to go to these families who need this, and to step in the gap for them, really.
Yeah, and it's also, it's also shedding light on situations like this.
For sure.
And especially now with everything that's gone on since March with COVID.
Right.
Jobs are gone.
Exactly.
It's not, and so everyone's suffering, and then they have to, then their priorities change.
Right, for sure. Yeah, because it's how am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to pay my rent? I need to make sure that my kids are going to be okay, and that my kids still have health insurance. So sometimes that means that you have to cancel those pet plans in order to, but then you come up on an emergency situation where you need the money to help get your pet taken care of.
And it happens so quick. Dogs do not understand what they can and cannot eat. If it's in front of them, they're going to eat it.
Right.
And you can't always watch them. They're like babies. And I always say that,
For sure.
and I understand there are some mothers who get annoyed with me when I say that, but it is like taking care of an infant.
Well, yeah.
Because you are in charge of making sure they're safe, taking care of their
I,
health, feeding them.
I think I read somewhere that they have the mental capacity of like a 3-year-old.
Yes, that's the
So,
big, so they don't know, I can't eat this. They
right.
see a grape on the floor, I want that.
It smells good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if it
Yeah.
smells horrible, they probably want it even more.
Right.
And cats are not immune to this either. We're not just going to help dogs. We want to help.
Correct.
Whether you have a cat, a ferret, a fish, although I don't think fish tend to have medical emergencies. You never know. Horses, birds, donkeys, whatever you have, that needs something, we want to help. We're not just, you don't have a dog, forget you, because whatever pet it is, that's part of your family.
Right.
You are responsible for taking care of them and making sure they are safe and healthy.
Yes.
And that should never be something that you can't afford.
Right.
And I don't know if it was you who commented, but there was a comment under one of our posts where someone said, well, if you can't afford a pet, why do you have one? And that isn't necessarily accurate, because you don't get a pet saying, I can't afford it. You get a pet saying, I want something to love and care for unconditionally. And
and the other thing, the other thing that's really big is doing my research is that having a pet is good for our mental health.
Yeah.
It lowers our cholesterol. It lowers our blood pressure. It prevents heart attacks. Mm-hmm. It reduces stress and anxiety. So there are so many benefits that people get from having pets in their life. And so, taking care of them essentially can lower our costs for what we may face later on in life. So
it's why they do pet therapy at hospitals and nursing homes.
Right. Exactly.
It does. It boosts your quality of life.
Right.
And, there has been scientific procedures and scientific research proving this, as you mentioned. Research. This is proven facts. So people don't think about all that other stuff.
And why do you have one if you can't afford it? Well, sometimes you can't afford it and then you lose your job.
Mm-hmm. Or COVID happens and you your income is shot down,
Exactly. It changes, maybe you were full-time and now you're part-time. Mm-hmm. So there are all kinds of things that happen to people. You can't just say that as a blanket statement and judge people for what they're going through in that moment. So there's more to the story than maybe
Exactly. And, we want people to tell us their stories. I want to know what's going on, what has happened, whether or not it's something you're still dealing with or something that happened long ago.
Right.
The stories that need to be told. And I think that's something we want to start to do with buddies is tell these stories.
Right.
Their voice, and let people know what the reality is so they can prepare.
Right. Absolutely.
And hopefully we're able to, with this first round of campaigns we're doing with fundraising, hopefully that's a starting point for what's to come in the future.
Yes.
And for, pet owners.
Right. And it looks a little different now, this fundraising deal. I would have loved to have done like the prom idea that I had and had the tables out with these items for people to come in to actually go to the event and, bid on what we have up on the website. But right now, that's not an option. In the future, hopefully it will be.
Yeah.
Because that would be a blast and people would go and they would have fun and they would get to bid on these items and it would be a huge event. So, right now, this is what it looks like this year. Hopefully next year, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
that we can, have something a little bit bigger than what this is, but this is our first year we're in this and, we hit the ground running.
Oh yeah.
We're going for it.
Yeah. You have to, there's no, I feel like when it comes to animals, there's no slow stepping. It has to go, because you never, something change so quickly.
And
Um,
I think with both of us, it's like go big or go home. So we're going big.
exactly. I'm not one to take things slow. So not when it comes to pet, animals, and I've always had that drive to help.
Yeah, me too.
I think for us, as a little backstory about you and me, we met
Right.
through our namesake, his owner,
Yes. Yep.
Rick, had this amazing dog who I
Yes.
never had the pleasure of meeting, always wished I could have. But because of him, we met and we were able to accomplish something
Right.
that's moving forward little by little.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yes.
and hopefully we can honor Buddy continuously down the line,
Correct.
because he
Yeah.
is a very, very sweet dog and has an amazing owner.
Yes.
Does a lot for people and, really helps.
Yes. And I think that we're really lucky to know him and to have found each other.
Yeah.
So essentially, he's built this community as much as you and I have.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
he does. And we want to thank him for that.
Yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, so we just wanted to kind of do a quick little video just so you guys kind of saw who we were and it wasn't just some
Yep.
website, and understood that
Right.
we're not people inside a business that are just, out to make money, that we have
No.
experiences ourselves,
Right.
led us to doing this and kind of where our heads are at and what
Yep.
our goals are.
Yep.
So in the meantime, we will have some more fun auctions up. We're
Yeah.
both working on a couple of things. I know Jen had something pretty big that happened, so we're working to get all that. Yeah, we'll, stay tuned.
Yeah. As soon as we have everything, it'll be posted and we will let you guys know.
Yeah. And good luck bidding.
Yes.